Hello, my name's Duncan, and these are this is the first of the introduction to my introduction to classic sci-fi or science fiction. I know some people don't like the term sci-fi, but it doesn't worry me. As long as you read it, it doesn't worry me. So, this is the beginning. So, in the beginning, the world was created, and this has made a lot of people very angry. Sorry, wrong one. So, in the beginning, in December of 1977, I hounded my father to take me to see a film that everybody had been talking about. So little 9-year-old me hounded my dad until he took me to see this film, and this little film was called Star Wars. And that film, it's no small thing to say it changed me. It changed things I loved. It gave me a lifelong love of science fiction. Before that, I'd read some science fiction, I'd seen some Star Trek on the TV, but Star Wars really sort of pulled it all together. And that was when it was called Star Wars, before they put A New Hope on the end of it. But yes, it made me wanted to consume everything. You've got to think, this was pre-VHS. Even though VHS existed, nobody I knew had one. Nobody I knew had one until sort of early 80s. So I went back to see the film. I saw the film numerous times. I think the last count I had was sort of 60, 70 times in the cinema, which is absolutely nuts when you think about it. But yeah, it changed me, and it made me read books, read lots of books, and find anything science fiction I could read and do. TV, magazines, the lot. And as you know, if you watch this channel, I'm incredibly enthusiastic. 90% of my reading is still science fiction, even though I do go off in weird tangents every now and then. George Lucas's vision of Star Wars sort of amplified my interest. His world, his whole creative thing, just sort of amplified my interest in that genre. So I went off exploring for books, and I found books from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and even earlier when you go back to pre-Victorian and even pre-Victorian, sort of the proto-Gothic eras. A lot of the stuff was in what is known as the Golden Age, which is the 40s and 50s, although Brian Aldiss in his book Billion Year Free and Trillion Year Spree, which is the re-edited version, he always defines as the end of the Golden Age is 1963, which was the publication of June. When the 80s finish and start doesn't really bother me, but I had an interest in what I think of as classic science fiction, and I know the word classic is quite a loaded word. You know, in the past I've read books deemed classics and I've hated them. So classic is some way what your perception is. I'll give you the dictionary definition of classic. It means, according to the dictionary, it's of the first class, of the highest rank or importance, constituting an acknowledged standard, a model of enduring interest and values. Well, if I attach that to me personally, I would say, for me, what formed my reading would have been anything I read before the age of 18. And that stuff has stayed with me, stuff I've reread. So for my introduction, this is why it's called an introduction to classic science fiction, a personal journey, because it's my personal journey. It's the personal journey of me discovering these books, and then there's books I've gone back to. So for the aids of this series of videos, it is going to be any book I read from the age of 18 and earlier. So that would be 1986. Yes, I'm that old. 1986 or earlier, the books. And they are what I deem as classics, because they're books I would have gone back and reread. There are some books I've gone back and reread and not liked, so I wouldn't deem those classics, but to me it's ones that I still to this day will happily consider rereading and do reread. So for this series of videos, I am going to make sure that they are less, around about the 5-minute mark. I want to keep it nice, brief little videos, and I'm going to explain to the videos of the context in which I read them, if I can remember that, which I may not for some of them, and also why I like them and why I think they're important and why I think you might like to read them. So I hope you enjoy this series of books. It's going to be in no specific order, and I'm not sure how long it's going to go on for, but I'm going to make a playlist, and I will have them all in a playlist, including this video and the weird little trailer I made the other day. And there's a video following this called How to Read Classic Science Fiction. And it's a video I didn't really want to make, but I thought I'd better make it. So yeah, I hope you all enjoy this, and I said these 2 videos about this week, and at the back of the week hopefully we'll have the first of the books that I will pick, and I hope you enjoy it and read some of these books along with me.